please visit www.patreon.com/oneseedaday and support us with a monthly donation of €1 or US dollar in order to get access to exclusive content of various permaculture projects, analysis and insights about agroforestry, to connect with our community, to support our daily seed plantings and long-term projects such as the One Seed a Day Foundation and socio-ecological reforestation for the connection of humans and their nature.
Yeah, we chose this. Are we filming already or what?
Yeah.
Okay, then I can talk about it. We chose a spot for the mushroom farm that had to be in the shadow, because mushrooms like moisture and they should not dry out too much. And as you can see, this area here, it already had the birches growing, and that's the best medium for these kind of mushrooms that we're growing. So we're thinning out some of these birches and using them. As you can see, there are some pieces lying here in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to tell us a bit who you are? What are we going to see here?
Yeah, well...
What would you like to say about yourself?
Well, my name is Charlie, and basically I was one of the founders of Solbacka Eco Village, or Circle Way Village, or whatever you want to call it. And so this project that we're going to see now is basically, we have a wish to create work opportunities right here locally, so that we don't have to drive out so much. So try to empower each other to be able to make an income from the land. And this is one really cool project that we're hoping is going to help with that. So 4 of us went together. I became part of it because I have some skills with felling trees.
Uh-huh.
And I'm kind of a wood person, and so then they needed me for that part, and
nice.
And then anyway.
Yeah, to be honest, I was super excited to hear that you have a mushroom farm.
Yeah.
Because it's also a bit from the distance related to my job, which is working as a designer with microorganisms to make materials, but also microorganisms have this incredible capacity of making either food or non-food, depending on how we treat the fermentation or the growth. And so, yeah, actually getting to see this place, it's the first time that I see a mushroom farm, so I thought it's super exciting that you have that. And also 2 days ago when I was talking to Luke, he was also saying that basically mushroom farms could be also a way to preserve a bit the forest as it is, because generally in Finland there is this attitude in which people with forests cut down the trees and they sell the wood, and they start basically replanting trees from scratch. And differently in this case, like some trees could be inoculated or used for inoculation, but then the forest needs to stay somehow. So I thought it was super interesting to hear about also that different approach.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's a good thing to use local natural resources, and then, you know, as you can see here, we have cut they need to be thinned anyway, because when it just grows, it becomes too close. They grow too close, and it's better they get some air, so then they become bigger, the trees. So it's a good thing to anyway thin them. And then normally you would use it for firewood, this kind of wood, but then we can use it to grow the mushrooms.
Yeah, probably mushrooms also have different properties if they grow on some types of trees
Yeah.
in comparison to others.
Yeah, exactly. It's like from the nature they have certain relationships with certain mushroom has certain relationship to a certain wood species, but then some of them can grow on different sorts. It's very intricate, very mysterious how everything is connected. And yeah.
Do I remember, for example, correctly that chestnut is also a very precious wood that mushrooms farmers like to use, I think specifically for shiitake?
That's probably true, but that's not something we have so much here in Finland. It is more in warmer places. That I think so. Chestnut is more used. Here it's really birch is a good one for a lot for a lot of mushrooms.
And now we get to the exciting part.
Yeah, now we are entering the crazy bridge of no return.
The magic portal.
This is like where you have to. Yeah.
Yay.
So we started over here. So this place was where we put the mushrooms into the logs. This factory here. So basically we would take one of these and then we had it over here. And then we have a special tool what creates holes in the log. So we would make many holes, and then the mushroom material is like some sawdust, which has been inoculated with the mycelium, and that's something that was done there's a company here in Finland that we actually produce mushrooms for. So then they provided us with that.
Nice.
And then we have a special tool that that puts it inside. And it's all by hand, so it's a lot of work. Like thousands and thousands of holes we have been making.
Yeah, well.
And then you can see over here.
Sorry for interrupting. How much holes would you make in this log, for example?
Yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
so like
8, and then
maybe.
so let's say 30 holes in this one.
So it was like kind of every 10 centimeters.
Yeah,
or
something like
right?
that, and then on 4 sides.
On 4 sides.
About,
yeah.
or maybe even 3. This is so small, but then a bigger one that would maybe be 5.
Okay.
So it's more like you make lines of holes so that the fungus is colonizing the whole log.
Yeah.
And spreading the whole mycelium inside and taking it over completely.
Nice.
Because if you don't do nothing, then it will be colonized by whatever mushroom is the strongest.
Yeah.
And these ones have actually not been inoculated by us. So this just happened by nature itself. And this is not a mushroom that you can really use for anything.
Yeah.
So this is what happens if you don't do anything.
Yeah, anyway, nature takes care.
Totally makes it. Oh, look at this one! Did I see? This is also just nature.
Looks good. Yeah.
That's quite cute. Yeah.
I will bother again with details. When you have this powder, the sawdust powder that is inoculated, would you simply stuff it in the holes with your hands, or?
No, there's a special tool which is kind of a plunger.
Okay.
Like so you kind of put it into the hole and then you hit on it, and it delivers this stuff.
Nice.
And then actually what we do is we seal it with a hot beeswax, so that otherwise other kind of fungus can go in and compete.
Yeah.
So we try to give them as good chance as possible to succeed.
And the bark then is probably also kind of resistant to fungi, at least like 90%
I
or
mean
80%.
here is where they would enter. This
There,
is really-
yeah.
Here you can actually see, you see the holes here
Ah, yeah.
that have been sealed with wax. You can see this white stuff is the wax on top.
Yeah. Also here it seems
Yes,
there
you
is
see
one,
there's
and
like a line
here.
of holes coming
Yeah.
down. So there you have it.
Nice.
And
And you
how
can-
long does it take for the mycelium to populate one log and then start?
Yeah, this is hard to say. It depends so much of moisture levels. So if there's really hot period, it goes slow. But then we had like a really heavy rain here, and then suddenly we noticed that actually mushrooms are starting to appear. You see,
Yes.
this one here is one of ours. It's so cute. It's like a hairy.
Oh, there we have a nice lion's mane.
It's lion's mane, yeah. And those are the ones that we want, and that's really nice because you see the others are they are the ones that the nature just puts themselves, but our lion's mane have still colonized. So
Yeah,
it's
this
like
is a baby one.
it's like a competition, you know. They're competing for
Yeah.
the stuff, for space.
Yeah, it's very fascinating, and it was for me the first time that I saw this species, and I have really like the association with like, organisms that you can find in the sea, like corals and some sort of algae. So it's very interesting to see also how the shapes somehow have a relation with like marine environments.
Yeah, actually over here we have those corals. Maybe we should go and see them.
Yes.
They're a little bit funny as well.
What does the company do with the mushrooms?
Yeah, actually that's a good question. So what we do is we harvest the mushrooms and then we send them to the company, and then they dry them, completely dry them and pulverize them. And then they create the tinctures from them. And tincture is you put it in alcohol, and it becomes like this medicinal product that the benefits of the mushroom comes out really strongly, and you just take little drops. And for example, lion's mane it's very good for people who are developing Alzheimer, like some memory related stuff. So that one you can use for that, and there are many different properties what are good. But over here we have these coral thingies.
This is beautiful.
They are so beautiful, like they're so soft. Yeah.
And this I heard from Luke that is a native mushroom from Finland as a species. So probably they are quite happy.
They seem to be really, really happy here, like
Yeah.
so crazy growing. This was like experiment, just to try, but they really work. This is the thing, you have to experiment. There are like many different strands of mushrooms. It's not only one. It's from what we have received. It's like many different. So they're experimenting to see which ones are actually working best.
Which others have you tried?
No, it's like from lion's mane. It's not only lion's mane. There is like variations. And this is, I don't know. I cannot tell you because this is a secret. They don't tell us. But they, in their lab, they are like producing different kind of strands.
Okay.
So then they try to find the best, of course. And here we have the shiitake. They're really cool.
Yeah, when I was seeing them, I was a bit surprised because I couldn't tell that they are shiitake because they are so huge. I was always used to the more tiny ones that you find in the supermarket or in like farmers markets.
Yeah.
And these ones are just like, phew.
Yeah. Well,
very happy.
they're very mature. You know, they don't get any bigger than that, I think.
Like just the relation with my hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't sell them to anywhere else, directly to the company. What is the name of the company?
It's called Kappa
Kappa.
Biotech. Kappa is the name of a mushroom in Finnish. So it's just a kind of a word on mushroom.
Well, it makes me happy to see that a company, which is probably not the case for all companies, actually prefers the cultivation in the forest, because I imagine there are many companies who would prefer a sterile lab or a sterile place or any like isolated building. And I think even this kind of cultivation, also with the fresh and very highly qualitatively high forest air, has an impact on the quality of the resource eventually.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's actually there has to be organic certified, so we are applying for that as well. So that which means that there cannot have been used any chemicals in the forest and stuff like that. So this is good. Takes time to get it, but hopefully it's coming. Yeah.
So probably there is maybe a relatively long time for the mycelium to take over the whole log, but then the fruiting process gets faster.
Yeah. So these have been here for like a year, something like that. So we're actually a little bit surprised that they already come now. Normally it's the second year is when they really start to go crazy.
And is it like how many years will they now continue to flower?
To produce? Yeah, it's probably like the first 4 years. That's the where you get the most out of them. Then they will continue, but not as strong. So if you want to do it like really commercial, then you should always make new ones that are ready.
Yeah.
And then the old ones, when they're not really producing so much, you can, for example, put them make a big compost pile.
Yeah.
And then the mushrooms will continue growing over there. But
nice.
It's just, just for your own use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can use them in the garden. Like you can take these ones that are almost not totally compost, but on the way to be compost, and you can make like beds in the garden with them, and fill it with soil inside and grow vegetables.
You mean hügelbeets?
Kind of, yeah, but not necessarily to bury them, but to make sites out of it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think that's quite the same, but
no, it's not necessary to bury them.
Okay.
Like you say. No, it was like a statement according to your word. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's super exciting to use mushrooms also in the vegetable garden, because the mycelium, the soil is full of mycelium anyway, so it's very mysterious, like what could happen. But it's there's a lot of experimentation going on around the world with that.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could imagine that using the compost that you were talking about yesterday, the compost that is made like with the contribution of the community, could be could you think that it could be a good symbiosis between the mycelium and that compost?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's nature, so nature always finds the best way to do it. So I don't think that you can go wrong. If it works, then if it grows, then it's good.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see like if animal-derived compost and human-derived compost would have like different effects on the growth of the mushrooms.
Yeah, but it's just if you do it commercially, then you cannot use
Human-derived?
the human manure.
Oh, human manure, nice.
Human manure, that's what
very
it's
nice.
called. Yeah. So it's but a lot of people still use it, but then they use it for themselves. You know. So there are some rules about that.
Yeah, it would be a very interesting symbiosis somehow, even if indirect.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is what we're growing here, basically.
Well, thank you very much for showing us around.
No problem.
Very, very sweet and actually also compact, the whole design. Also, it gives probably a lot of home for new insects, or like not new, but insects from here, plants.
Yeah.
Also some mammals come by probably sometimes to breed.
Yes. Yeah, it's nice. I like it also.
Yeah, actually from the distance I was really feeling a kind of architecture sensation. It could seem a bit like a village itself.
Is there a rough estimation for people like us who have no like intuitive regular contact with these logs, how many kilograms one log would give in the matter of a year, for example?
Actually, I don't remember those numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't remember.
And that speaks also to your practice, because like when you really are in contact with it, you don't need to constantly look numbers.
I mean, there are people who like numbers, and then people who don't like so much. But you know, I'm more interested in the process.
Yeah, that invites also to actually do it and investigate and find out oneself.
Yeah.
It really looks also like an ice fountain.
Yeah, there is. It's strange. Strange creatures.
Please visit www.patreon.com/oneseedaday and support us with a monthly donation of €1 or $, in order to get access to exclusive content of various permaculture projects, analysis and insights about agroforestry, to connect with our community, to support our daily seed plantings and long-term projects such as the One Seed a Day Foundation and socio-ecological reforestation for the connection of humans and their nature.